Hi, everybody, and welcome to the webinar on the role of technology in Argentina's lithium revolution. We're very happy to be here with you on this and to discuss this very relevant topic with three experts on the subject. I hope we know that there's a lot of people registered for this seminar, so we hope that you enjoy it. I'll be moderating it, but we hope that you are able to pose some questions that we hope to address at the end. And this will serve as a great introduction to the Lithium conference that is being organized for the 22nd and the 23rd of November here in Buenos Aires. First of all, let me kindly introduce myself. My name is Pablo Berra. I'm the Managing Director for Latin America for Third Way Partners. Third Way is an investment advisory and consulting company with an international scope. We have operations in Africa, we have operations in the Americas, in Europe, and in Latin America. And particularly in Latin America, we work with one of the main lithium producers in the region, who happens to be represented here at the panel today. So lithium and sustainability for us is something that is actually quite important. Let me pass it along to my colleagues so they can actually introduce themselves, and then we'll go straight into the discussion. Daniel, you want to briefly start us off and let us know your profile and your experience in the field?
Sure. Hi, Paulo. Thanks for the invitation. So my name is Daniel Neve. I'm the Solar IQ product manager for Zelandis. And my role is basically developing new permanent monitoring services for lithium mine brines in production and to assist our clients in making their operations more efficient and environmentally friendly. So I come from a different background. I come from aviation industry and construction. And I'm also an engineering geologist, and I'm applying the mix of talents to this developing field.
Very interesting to go from aviation into mining, Daniel. So look forward to hearing more about that. Stefan, can you kindly introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning. My name is Stefan van Lok. I've been working with the company Manishar since 1994. So I have about 29 years of experience with the company in a variety of roles. I'm a member of the executive committee, and as such, I dedicate my time to region management in South America, excluding Brazil, which means that I supervise our distribution companies in the region. Today we are present in all countries of South America, excluding Venezuela. My second core task is being the global product manager of two of our core products, being soda ash and sodium sulfate, which together are about 50% of the total volume that we manage. And I'm also globally responsible for our maritime bulk and breakbulk logistics. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan, for joining us from Belgium and towards the end of the afternoon there. And we know it's getting cold and dark, so we'll try to keep you awake and happy. And last but not least, Luis.
Okay, thank you, Pablo. My name is Luis Gibbons. So my current position is Argentina Exploration Manager for former Lithium America and now Lithium Argentina. So I've been working for the past 2 years. So before joining the lithium industry, I worked more than 20 years in the oil and gas exploration business worldwide. So in our team, what we do is we are constantly looking for lithium targets in Argentina. And after the company split, we are also pursuing exploration targets globally. So in our current assets, Cauchari, Olaroz, Pastos Grandes, and Antofalla, we continue with the exploration. Then we do geological and hydrogeological studies to improve the lithium recovery. and the efficiency through the implementations of well-known techniques and the introduction of new technologies.
Thank you very much, Luis. We've been lucky enough to work together on some projects, and we've been very, very impressed by the achievements of Lithium Americas and now Lithium Argentina. So it's a pleasure to actually have you here. So I will directly jump into the questions to our different panelists. I remind you to take notes. If you have separate questions, Mateo, who's a member of our team, will be basically compiling them and sharing them with me, and I basically can ask them to our panelists at the end of the webinar. Okay. So to get us started, Daniel, perhaps I was wondering if you could give us an overview of Zelandes' mission and how the company contributes to accelerating the world's lithium supply.
Sure, yeah. So Zelandes is a company that's basically its sole purpose is to accelerate the lithium supply. So we provide cutting-edge technology that helps develop lithium brine resources faster and more efficiently. So we provide a comprehensive suite of advanced exploration and extraction tools, which then empowers the client with valuable insights and information. And then based on that, the client can make data-driven decision-making easier. So we try and optimize, we help the client optimize the resource management and achieve success through our innovative solutions designed to deliver unparalleled expertise and advanced technology at every stage of the actual lithium brine extraction process. So that's basically in a nutshell what we do.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. Luis, going to the operations of Lithium Argentina, perhaps can you let us know how is Lithium Argentina utilizing technology to support the global lithium supply chain and the transition to clean energy, particularly in the projects that we know is like Caucharí, Olaroz, and Pastos Grandes, which are the most significant, most relevant.
Sure. I will focus in the exploration and subsurface mainly, which is my domain, and then give a couple of references at the end on other areas which the company is working on. So basically in the exploration department, we are still using traditional geological tools, and then what we are doing is we incorporate to that new technologies to give us like a better insight on the search for lithium. On traditional geological tools, I can mention the typical sequence stratigraphy, coronal stratigraphy. Then we run geochemistry on rocks and brines to try and determine the origin of the lithium and where we can track it. Then what we have developed is the structural geology maps to have a full geological model and conceptual model of our salars in order to properly understand where the lithium is located and how we could target the best lithium spots. Then together with some satellite images and machine learning through our technological partners, we are adding this into what the previous studies were made in order to track the formations of interest and explore them further. We also use LIPS guns in order to have a fast reference in green exploration areas. So that way we have a strong geological model of the places which we explore and can assess on the areas which we are interested in based on the potential. And in the past years, we also use geophysical methods like would be seismic, magnetotellurics, gravimetry, and ERT, in order to find the lithium in depth and see how far it expands away from the traditional targets that are normally in the solar pans. So, on the other hand, we also perform hydrogeological monitoring, not only during the solar development, but we start this as soon as we start our projects, our exploration projects, and that way we deploy some hardware to monitor all the environmental parameters with weather station, evaporation domes. We measure the stream flows and the temperatures in the streams. We use drones for digitalization of the basin and also to measure the stream flows as well. We drill piezometers all over the basin and the margins of the salar to understand better the hydrogeology of the salar and how it interacts with the brines. So this we coupled with satellite data, and from the satellite data we estimate the basin precipitation, evaporation, lagoon bodies, and wetlands, and we see how they relate with the local measurements taken in the salar itself. And that can bring us a picture of what has been happening in the salar from the 80s, where all these satellite, let's say, data were gathered and reconstructed up to date. We also use wireline logging data in order to understand better how the formations in the salar are set and what is the vertical connection between them and how they interact with each other. All this is brought into a static and into a dynamic model, which help us forecast how the salar will behave in time through production. So we have been looking into deeper targets, okay, and also targets away from the salar pan, and through different drilling technology, we will be able to explore into targets which were out of the, let's say, standard drilling equipment available in the area. Lately we have also improved our drilling fluids and our drilling fluids technology, and also we reviewed on our operational previous campaigns, and we were able to gather information from the salars, which were previously not possible because in many times we had some drilling problems and lost the wells. So, and another thing that I would like to mention is, like, in general, when we look into the production of lithium, we plan it through evaporation ponds, which uses the energy from the sun process and it makes us energy efficient. So actually, we in this way we reduce the intensity comparing to other mining methods. So basically, on top of that, we also look up to the fresh water that we have in the area, and what we are trying to do, what we do, right? It's minimize the use of fresh water through the selection of our processes, and also through the through our daily life. So like most of the equipment does not get clean on site, it gets clean outside in order to save the water, which is some scarce resource in the Puna. So that's basically most of the areas which we have been working on in the last years in our projects, and how we have been dealing with this challenge.
Thank you, Luis. That was a very comprehensive answer of all the developments done by Lithium Americas, or now Lithium Argentina, over the past several years. So thank you very much for that. Stefan, it's hard to not know what Manushar does, given that it's one of the main providers in the mining services area. But I think it'd be interesting for some members of the audience if you could let us know the role of the company as a distributor of chemicals and its involvement in international trade services for the benefit of everyone. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Pablo. I think it's important to sketch a little bit where Manushar originated and how we rolled into this chemical distribution. Manushar was incorporated into the Maas Group, which started in 1880, in 1985. And since then, we've been in the chemical distribution and also the international trading business. Historically, we've been focusing on these emerging markets, but in 2022, Lone Star Funds, which is a US-based private equity group, entered as a new majority shareholder in the company. And this partnership has marked a new milestone in the expansion of our leading chemical distribution platform, with the aim to further strengthen our global network, both from a geographic as from a product portfolio point of view. Now, if we go back in time, then prior to 1992, Manushar was merely, or let's say, focused on international trading. We were buying from suppliers, selling to customers worldwide, and our commitment would end when the goods reached the port of destination. So predominantly, we managed the supply chain from an ex-works or FOB basis to custom freight or CIF. Now, in the early 90s, we already came to the conclusion that in order to add more value to our customers' business, that we would need to invest in local assets, either in the country of origin or the country of destination of the goods. And this culminated in the establishment of Manushar in China and in Brazil in 1992. Now, over time, we have expanded our business model to the other areas where we are active today. South America, to give you an example, Argentina, we started in 2003, and in Chile in 2004. Today, we're active in Central America, Caribs, North America, Southeast Asia, Africa, Middle East, and South Asia. We have assets in more than 35 countries, and we continue to expand. Now, also to reply to your question, today in our region, we're focusing mainly on whatever is home and fabric care, human nutrition, animal nutrition, crop nutrition, and last but certainly not least, mining and energy. Now, how do we work? The sales efforts of these industries are coordinated by a global team, which acts as an expert in the respective product range, keeping our customers informed, price, product tendencies, new application, supply chain challenges, and also the opportunities. Next to this application or sales-based approach, we also count on different product managers who are in turn the experts in their field and act as a supplier relationship manager for its products related caustic soda, soda ash, calcium chloride. The three are products which are important to the lithium industry. So as such, we have a multi-layer approach of a specific distribution market. Today, our customer base is composed of a variety of industries and sizes. We serve both the small and medium-sized enterprises, local champions, and multinational companies. So we do count on the experience, and I will go a little bit more into detail later, We can propose tailor-made solution for this diversity of customers, each with their special needs. As you will understand, the customer in human nutrition will have other necessities and demands than a customer in the mining industry or in crop nutrition. It has always been our mission to think along with our customers, provide them with clear and transparent market knowledge and bringing added value to their supply chain, which in the end allows them to realize their ambition and above all keep their production running anytime, anywhere. That's a key target or a key mission for a chemical distributor. If we take a look back, the last 2 years, especially from the second half of 2020 till the second half of 2022, I think that the world has seen a supply chain crisis of epic proportions. And I'm proud to say that at no moment in time, one of our customers had to stop production due to a lack of raw materials. I must admit it was a hectic period. We never did as many air freight shipments as during those 2 years, but the outcome is more than satisfactory for all our customers. Now, in order to realize our role as a leading distributor, we also dispose of various procurement offices all over the world. Most important ones are Beijing, Hong Kong, Antwerp, Houston, and Sao Paulo. Being this international distributor also means that we have a fully fledged shipping department specialized in handling both bulk and breakbulk cargoes, as well as containers. And so we're geared to work with liner companies and even engage in more complex shipping structures like time and voyage chartering. Now, next to having these, let's say, soft skills at the right places, we also have the assets, having warehouses, trucks, and hoppers to give recurrent added value to our customers. Next to that, we also count with safety inventories, either in the country of destination, but also in the neighboring countries. If tomorrow we have a problem in Argentina, we count on safety inventories in Brazil, in Chile, in Peru, and this allows us to mitigate any contingency that might arise. So one of these key products for the industry will be soda ash, and we all know that in spite of the fact that there is a factory in Argentina, it is Alpat that the production capacity at the moment, I understand that there are plans for expansion, is insufficient to meet the demand of the lithium mining industry. So supply chain for soda ash, which is crucial to your industry, you will have to consider that a considerable part will have to come from distant origins, such like the United States, Europe, or Turkey. So also in these products, we have decades of experience. I go back to my introduction. Soda ash and sodium sulfate together compose about half of the volume that we as manager manage. So we have the insight or the in-house knowledge for same. And one of the things that the supply chain crisis taught us for the past years is the fact that establishing this robust supply chain and contingency planning is crucial. I hope that this gave an answer to your question.
Yes, Stefan, thank you so much. Very impressive growth, very impressive reach. Also very impressive all the redundancy schemes that you built around in case you have a problem in one country to actually not let that affect your operations. So,
Yes.
So thank you so much for give us your views on that. Stefan is coming to the conference on the 22nd and the 23rd. So if you want to interact further with him, I mean, that could be a very good opportunity. So going back a little bit to technology, Daniel, if I may ask you a more technical question. So some of the members in the audience and I have read a little bit about your Salar IQ permanent monitoring service. I hope I pronounce it right.
Yeah.
And how it aids lithium brine exploration and development projects. Can you perhaps tell us a few of the key advantages of this service so everyone can benefit from and can understand the product better? Thank you.
Sure, yeah. So this is, the Salar IQ permanent monitoring service is a service whereby we deploy intelligent sensors that can bring real-time and near real-time data to the client. So this then allows the client to make faster and more accurate decisions about their operation and how they operate their entire system. So one of the examples is the batch sense service that we have. So we had several discussions over the years with clients, and they often come to us expressing their frustrations and are asking if we have any technical solutions to some of the issues that they have. And one of the clients expressed, well, had several clients able to monitor correctly the depth and the volumes of the brine ponds. So the quantity of brine and the depth of the brine that these ponds are at. So you have to understand that the depth is a critical factor in pond management. So if a pond is too deep, the evaporation is too slow, which then makes the whole process at time a lot slower. By the time we've actually brought the brine to production, it can have a lot of delay. So on the other hand, if the pond is too shallow, we can actually cause the opposite problem, whereby the evaporation is too fast, and then this will cause an undesired precipitation of crystals. And sometimes there's these crystals that will form so quickly that they will actually drag lithium out of the brine, actually creating a situation whereby the client can end up losing some of the product. So the evaporation rate is extremely important to try and keep this at the perfect level. Now each company has its desired depths and heights, etc., carefully calculated, but the way they actually carry out the measurements is often a bit rudimentary. We've had some very simple solutions sometimes. Others try and use more modern technology, but there was nothing very specifically designed for the lithium industry. So we're fully aware that the volume calculation is extremely important to the client. And just to give an example, a 1 centimeter difference across the size of an evaporation pond is equivalent to millions of dollars worth of inventory. So this is something that's critical to the client. So they can also use this data as well. If they have better information, they can then use this data to predict the amount of chemicals that they're going to need for the processing, etc. So the more information they have, the better. So another aspect that's very important to the client is also to calculate the amount of sediment that is actually sitting on the bottom of their ponds. So it's not just the volume of brine, they're interested in what's sitting underneath. So those two pieces of information are very, very important. So we went ahead and we put together a very highly advanced digital bathymetry service that can map ponds or any other body of water down to a centimeter level. So it uses powerful drones, because we need very powerful drones to fly at 4,000 plus meters, and a unique package of sensors hanging underneath, which we then use to map the surface of the pond and also the surface of the brine underneath, because the system can actually see through the brine. So we can get both readings at the same time. And we've managed to obtain an incredibly high resolution of 300 data points per square meter. So this has never been done before. And it's almost as if you were taking a photograph of the pond without the brine. So we can actually see every detail of the pond. We can even see tire tracks. We've even found lost objects or parts of the pond that are excessively deep, that are sometimes missed by the standard methods that are used, which are generally spaced and much more apart than they are with this system. So this then allows the client to identify issues that sometimes they were completely unaware of. So we had a client that so we found a dent or a low part in their pond that was twice the depth that it should have been, and they had no idea that this was there. So it's a good example. They can do very close follow-up of the shape and design of their pond. So with this, we can then also calculate the volume of the sediments that are accumulated on the bottom of the pond, the salts, assuming we have obviously the original design, or if we can measure it at some stage when the pond is empty, which happens on a cyclic basis. So we can then map that, and then map it. We can do a comparison, and we can calculate the volume of the sediments that are sitting on the pond. So this very pleased to have that information at the fingertips and at such a high resolution.
Great, thank you, Daniel. Love to see a demonstration at some point
Sure.
of how it works, but it sounds quite impressive. Luis, for those in the audience who are not from Argentina, I mean, they may not know that we're in the middle of elections here, and both candidates have emphasized the importance of lithium in the future, the economic future of Argentina. It's actually been defined as the white gold of Argentina, and how important of a role will it play in the development of the economy. So I wanted to ask you, for Lithium Argentina, what are the project development timelines that you actually have, and your strategies to scale up lithium production to meet the growing demand that you have both in Argentina and globally from electric vehicles and renewable energy storage, batteries, mainly.
Hello, Pablo again. So luckily in Argentina as a country, most of the salars have been explored, and because the timeline that normally takes for a salar from the moment it gets explored until you have your first lithium could be up to 10 years. Right? Our company is based is currently in a good position, since the Cauchari Olaroz salar has started production a couple of months ago, and we are now putting all our efforts to have the ramp up and take the production to 40,000 tons per year in 2024. So having said that, we continue with our exploration efforts in Cauchari. In the south of Cauchari, we are currently drilling exploration wells, which should be having finished by the end of next year. And after the exploration, we think that we might have the potential to bring an additional 20,000 tons per year, making a total of 60,000 tons. Then for the other project, which would be Pastos Grandes, there we also have finished the exploration phase. We did our feasibility study, and currently we are going into the basic engineering works. So we believe that during 2004 it will be a very busy year for Pastos Grandes, focusing on the engineering works to start the constructions in 2025. And as a strategy for bringing production earlier in exploration, what we are doing is, in the past we used to drill diamond wells, work out the resources that we had, and then moved into the production wells, which showed us the deliverability of those wells and the potential reserves. Currently, in our campaign in the south, we are going straight to production wells, and we call them exploration production wells, in a sense of that we already know the area, so we have very good information from previous drilling. So we go straight from the wells, instead of having an exploration well, which would later lead into drilling another production well. We will go straight to design the exploration well to become a future producer. So then in Antofalla, which is our third asset, we are working with geophysical data, core samples, and trying to understand the full potential of Antofalla before we decide on the next exploration move. And globally, we are also looking to different areas which we could bring into production. Basically, our idea is just so target green areas which we could bring into production fast. So that would be the current position of Lithium Americas and what we are planning ahead to meet this growing demand.
Thank you, Luis. We're counting on that. I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot of demand for lithium going forward, or at least we all believe that. That's what we're all here, and we're all, very optimistic on the future of the industry. Stefan, we talked a little bit about the chemical distribution and what Manushar does on it. You claim that Manushar covers the whole value chain, right, from sourcing to just-in-time delivery. Could you perhaps elaborate a little bit on the specific services and the steps involved in the approach, the comprehensive approach that you provide?
Yes, of course. I believe that one of the main challenges that the lithium mining industry will face is its own growth or success. Something that sometimes is underestimated are the volumes of key raw materials that it will demand, and the logistic challenges, especially local logistics, that it poses. They cannot be underestimated. Now, to use soda ash as an example, as Chemical Market Analytics, or CMA, they expect that the demand for soda ash in the lithium industry in Argentina alone will increase with about 780,000 tons of soda ash by 2030. This is compared to 22 figures, and the majority of same will happen in the years before 27. And so this will bring the total soda ash consumption in Argentina to well over 1.1 million metric tons, and it will pose considerable challenges and obviously also opportunities, not only for the port infrastructure, but also for the local logistics and employment. Now, next to that, soda ash does pose certain complexities. It's not a commodity like any other. The product is essential to the industry and needs to be treated properly in order to avoid contamination. Most of the cargo, in view of the volumes, it will arrive in bulk and needs to be properly bagged at destination after passing quality and sealing control, as such to be delivered to the mines or to the plants. Soda ash, people living in South America will know that in many countries it's a precursor. Same in Argentina and in Chile, it's controlled by Renpre or Senda. And also, should the supply come from the Pacific ports to Argentina, then it will also have to cross the Andes, which will put specific requirements on the vehicles. So all in all, it's a very interesting and complex problem opportunity where we believe we can add or demonstrate our added value. Now, today I would say that the soda ash market is balanced, but mainly is due to a delay or reduced global demand as a consequence of the global economic slowdown. Now, once that same picks up again, and especially in the glass industry, we have a fast-growing solar glass industry, the market will become tighter again, and the fundamentals of soda ash are actually quite good. Hence, it will be important to be very close to the producers of soda ash in order to make sure that one remains to have access to a key raw material. And we do see a similar situation happening in maritime logistics. Market is currently balanced for the same reasons, but due to the uncertainty that exists with regards to alternative fuels to be used in maritime transport, and as such control your scope 3, very little investments have been made. So also there, a revival of the global economy would put again supply chain constrictions like we saw in the past years on maritime transport. Also, if we take a look at the location of the lithium triangle, that's one of the reasons why we decided to invest on both sides of the continent, so both in the Atlantic and in the Pacific. We want to give our customers flexibility in their desired supply chain and also their export outlet. So we have quite some challenges, quite some opportunities. People will also start looking at the cradle to grave of lithium, I would say. And also there, we as a distributor can play a role, working together with our shipping partners to make sure that we cooperate in alternative fuels. And we already did trials last year with biofuel, which allows us to reduce our scope 3. Today, we manage the customer supply chain from origin, which can be anywhere over the world, to their production site. One of the things that also differentiates us from either a classic 3PL or logistics service provider is the fact that we give our customers the option to finance their goods with the company. That this allows our customers to focus on their core activities and to invest their money in their core activities without having to worry for working capital or inventories. And like I already said, the safety inventories we have in other locations allows the customer to rest assured that he will always have access to his key raw materials. And all this we do in complete transparency on the entire supply chain. And the customer will know from where the product is sourced. They can be assured that the suppliers have passed our assessment, where we focus on financial stability, reliability, consistency of quality, ESG, compliance with US and European sanctions. So, okay, over the years, we've also have had relationships for many years with the different players in the sector. And nowadays, and that's also one of more the technology aspects of the discussion, is digitization. As a chemical distributor, you need to invest in digitization or digitalization. And through a supply chain control tower, which we will soon launch, our customers will have visibility to the exact location of their cargo, from where it's coming, MSDS, and so on. So to summarize, we focus on sourcing maritime logistics in a sustainable way. We do the necessary investments in the logistic infrastructure at destination, take care of the contingency planning, different points of entry, safety inventories, transparency, being able to finance the inventories, allowing our customers to focus on their core activities, a robust ESG and compliance program, and then also supported by digitalization.
I really like the part about the robust ESG program, because that's one of the key components that we develop a third way. Thank you, Stefan. As a reminder, I'm chatting with Luis, Stefan, and Daniel about the role of technology in Argentina's lithium revolution. And I invite you all again to please post your questions on the chat for Luis, Stefan, and Daniel. I'm going to ask one last round of questions to each of them, so you have the time to ask questions and they have the time to answer them. So please bear that in mind. And I'll start with Daniel. Daniel, perhaps you can tell us a little bit of how your partnership with clients work. I mean, how does the company work with clients as partners, and can you provide an example of a challenging project where Zelandes successfully found innovative solutions?
Yeah, well, we work with a whole range of clients. We work with 70% of all the explorers and producers in Argentina, and we're working on 38 projects at the moment. And so we're actually working on more salars than any other service company or operator. Like you mentioned earlier, we're trying to help companies accelerate their lithium supply, whether it be a junior who's getting their first production, or a producer who's expanding their production. So we have a whole suite of tools, including geophysics, for example, to help understand the resource in high detail, how to produce it, all the way through to prefabricating modular or lithium carbonate plants, as well as re-injection services. So, we help the clients in several ways, but when it comes to finance, for example, we look at, if we take example of the downhill geophysics service, we can actually bring 5 times the value. So how is this? This is due to the increase in production, that the wells that we carry out the geophysics logging on will produce up to 40% greater brine production than one done by classic methods. And this then also reduces the drilling costs by up to 50%. And this is actually data that the clients give us. So we're very happy with that. Now, how have you been able to help in a challenging situation? Well, one of the clients that came up to and asked us if we could provide some technology that could give them a greater sampling capacity, and so we've done this. We have developed a new technology called the borehole formation tester, and this tool is designed to go into lithium brine wells and extract uncontaminated brine samples from the aquifer. So this technology development came from a lithium brine client that came asking for a solution to the incumbent packet testing method that's currently used today. So we're going to be piloting this tool in Argentina with major producers sometime in January. So that's just a quick example.
Okay, exciting. Thank you, Daniel. Luis, this is a little bit of a broad question and may not be a fully fair question because many things can happen in Argentina over the next few months. But what are the potential challenges that you anticipate in meeting the demand for lithium, and how is Lithium Argentina prepared to address these challenges?
Okay, well, as mentioned before, we see the lithium demand picking up above supply, basically based on the US and the EU objectives in electromobility, right? And also we see India, South Korea, and Japan demanding lithium to keep up with the transition, with the energy transition. Well, as mentioned, as in Lithium Argentina, we are now exploring into different sources of lithium globally to anticipate that demand. And what we are also doing is from 2024 to 2030, we are looking to doubling the supply of lithium from our company, or even trying as a minimum. So we have the Cauchari-Olaroz expansion, and also we are going to bring Pastos Grandes into production in the coming years. So that would be like our key contribution to the lithium transition. As for technology, we are looking also into DLE projects. So we are going to pick up a partner to bring DLE technology into our research areas and see whether if we can have a proper technological solution to increase the production of lithium in our blocks further. Then the challenges I see as what Stefan has mentioned before, have infrastructure challenges, the stability itself, but basically also we are trying to recruit talent and also bring training into our recruitments that will be essential to overcome these challenges. And in a strategic perspective, well, it seems reasonable to partner with other players in the region, right? And also to work with the local authorities and communities, right? To develop these suppliers, then also develop and build the infrastructure and share the resources in a more efficient manner, right?
Perfect, Luis. Thank you very much. And Stefan, one last question for you. How does Manushar integrate technology since we're talking about a webinar on technology for efficiency in procurement, supply chain, and the chemical distribution?
Yes. Nowadays, if you're a chemical distributor, if you talk about technology, obviously we don't have production, but most of this aspect is driven by digitalization. It will allow for a performant procurement and supply chain and inventory planning. It will also give our customers the necessary transparency on the origin and the location of their goods through this supply chain tower I mentioned in the previous question. So it will allow them to track vessels, containers. We're thinking of putting nano chips in the big bags. By scanning the chip, a customer would have a clear visibility, the producer, the date of production, the lot number, the expiry date, and so on. So those are the things that we're taking a look at. And if we see that when you do this digitalization, obviously digital security and governments will become very important. Today in Europe, United States, and also in other countries, the government tries to make sure or responsibilize companies for protecting their customers' data, how they use the data, and so on. So digitalization, security, and governance will go hand in hand. And this is an area where we as a company are investing a lot of time, energy, and also funds. Digitalization, we have been talking about sustainability and ESG. Digitalization will be a catalyst for realizing our ambitions sooner than we expected. If you take a look at emissions, by measuring clearly, you will allow yourself to take the necessary action to bring the emissions down. Ernst & Young recently did a survey with a variety of chemical distributors, and there you see that in all continents, Europe, the Americas, Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific, 60 to 70 to 80% of the executives they interviewed consider that digitalization will allow for a better and faster implementation of the sustainability goals of a company. And we know that in tomorrow's world, there will be no place for a chemical distributor who does not invest the necessary time and energy in sustainability and ESG. So that is also one of the elements where we want to be first in class example in the chemical distribution.
Thank you, Stefan. You opened up a fantastic door for me because sustainability and ESG is sort of my passion, and it's basically what we do at Third Way. I would like Luis and Daniel also to give us their perspective of how they see sustainability and ESG involved in the value chain of lithium production. I mean, if they have a perception that could share with us. And this is off the record, right? I mean, this is not necessarily part of what we had planned, but this is something that I believe in strongly. And if you can respond to this, I think it would be very helpful.
Yeah, I think clients are looking obviously at this in an incredibly important way. Both the miners and also the consumers are very interested in sustainability and obviously the impact on the environment in general of the entire lithium extraction process. And so I think it's something that is absolutely essential, and it's something that needs to be carried out with scrutiny. But it's definitely something that we need to incorporate into every area of the operation where possible.
Luis, any views?
Yes, actually in Lithium Argentina, we include ESG in everything that we do. Basically, as a company, we encourage the hiring and contracting of local communities. Then when we look at our process technology or plant location and energy supply, everything that we do is focused on ESG. So in the past 2 years, we have been working extremely hard with the new companies that we have acquired in order to bring us into an ESG compliant company. So yes, I see it as essential. It's become part of our company, and as Stefan and Daniel mentioned before, it's something that we believe in, and it's currently demanded, right?
Stefan, anything else you want to add on the topic?
No, I have nothing to add. It's nice to be going to a conference where you see such an alignment between the different players. I think that as such we build a better world for the future generations. It's a big change. I mean, you see the effort that's being put on ESG today compared to 10 years ago. It's a world of difference.
Yeah, particularly with mining having the perception of being a highly contaminating practice, right? So having ESG practices is actually very, very important.
Imagine a chemical distributor.
I agree. Any wrap-up comments that you want to make for our audience at this point? Luis, Stefan, Daniel, this is your chance to leave us with a final message before the conference.
No, I think that lithium for us is not a new business. It's a challenging environment, and I think in general it gives a bright future for South America as well. If you take a look at the Cono Sur, this will indeed allow the region to, let's say, actively participate in making the world greener. It poses some logistic challenges, and we are there to support and to solve them, and also to think along with our customers. We want to add value. We don't want to stand in the way. So I'm looking forward to the conference and to meet a lot of people like-minded. There's nothing better than meeting people in person to build, let's say, relationship and trust. Because after 3 years of COVID, having meetings by Zoom and Teams and whatever, it's let's say, it's enough.
Absolutely,
I totally agree with that. Daniel?
Really looking forward to meeting in person at the conference as well. Yes, I think the industry has got a long way to go. There's plenty of growth, plenty of opportunities for all of us to contribute in a positive way to the industry. So yeah, we're really looking forward to meeting you guys in person as well.
Thank you. Chris, any wrap up?
Yes, well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the invitation and everyone for the conference. And I think that we are going to have many challenges ahead, and yet we will all have to work together, suppliers, companies, governments, and the local communities in order to become more sustainable in this challenge ahead, right?
Thank you, Luis. Well, I'd like to thank our guests, and thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Luis. Thank you, Daniel. I'd like to thank our audience. I'd like to remind our audience that they can register for the second Argentina and LATAM Lithium Summit that will take place between the 22nd and 23rd of November using the link in the website, in the webinar. And we wait for you there. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for participating in this webinar. For me, it gave me a lot of food for thought, and it opened up the way for companies that are interested in the ROE of technology in lithium for a challenging country like Argentina, like my home country, or for people who simply want to know more about the industry. So I think it was very eye-opening and groundbreaking, if I may. So I look very much forward to see you, most of you, in a couple of weeks here in Buenos Aires. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.